In some ways, I found it really interesting, and I'm still thinking about it, about the fact that tonight's event is called Our Indigenous Flesh, because I know partially where it is, that the stories are born. You know, I've run several writing workshops with people, and it's very interesting to me when I ask them the question, you know, where does your writing come from? Where do you hear the voice coming from in your body? And a lot of times you hear people say, you know, I hear the voice in my head. I hear the voice up here somewhere. A couple times people will say, I hear it in my throat. I've only ever had one memorable workshop participant who yelled, it comes from my vagina, you know, all across the stuff. And I was like, great, because I'm like, I'm a total believer in writing from your first chakra. Like, that's the best place. And you're writing survival and everything else. Like, you're gonna get your good gritty stuff. But it's always shocking to me when people are like, you know, I hear something floating around. I'm like, really? Like, that's what you hear? You hear this floaty thing? I'm like, I'm also surprised by people who say that they sit down to write and don't know what to write about. I'm like, I can see not knowing how to write what you want to write. I can see not knowing how to start it. I can see maybe some emotional or mental kind of, you know, reservation or hesitation. But not having anything to write just seems the weirdest thing to me. Like, that is so alien. Like, I'll sit down, I have tons of, you know, things are fighting to get out, and I have to figure out which one's going to come out first. But I've never had this, I don't know what to write about today. Let me try this crossword puzzle inspiration thing. Like, I'm totally, like, my mind was completely blown away by that last month, because I had never heard that before, never really thought about that. But I was thinking about how, as you're saying, you know, we carry the stories, but the fact that, you know, that we would title a literary event Our Indigenous Flesh, because really that is where the stories come from. That's right. Where they live.
Inside the body, and we embody them, especially in the writing itself. I think we're embodying a lot of our past, present, and future, because I want to reach that point of future, reach that point of hope. And so for the past 4 years, I've been working with Indigenous writers and playwrights in Canada. So we've been working on embodying the land. How do we embody and carry that land within our bodies? And so we visited about 18 mound sites, earthwork sites. Does everybody know what I mean when I say earthworks? Mound sites? No. These are earthwork sites that are usually between 2,000. The oldest site that we visited was 7,000 years old, and it's an earthwork site that was created by natives. I think it's about 7,000 years ago. So these places in which carry a story on the land, and we work with that kind of placement to try to recall and regain indigenous knowledge, that return of indigenous knowledge to write this play. And this is a very powerful thing, because the earth does speak to you in these places of sacred sites. It is a sacred site, but also comes with that is violence. Some of these sites are very, very disquiet. They're unhappy. And part of this healing that goes with ourselves and our bodies, part of the point of, I think, for maybe, I can only speak for myself, but for writing these stories is to express what I think is happening in the landscapes, happening on our land, and put it out, tell it. And hopefully through that telling, that moment, we're able to heal, bring a closure to that which is not closed.
That's interesting, because I hear you talking about bodies and land, and I'm thinking about bodies and illness and healing, which we were talking a little bit before. Yeah. But there was this past summer, Sandra was there, at the Galería a conference in Austin this past summer. There was an interesting panel about recovering indigenous healing practices. And one of the thoughts that occurred to me while I was there was that
original